The Gina and Matty podcast.
I just remembered this random story yesterday when I was sitting talking with CJ.
Oh, I love a random story.
About a friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name, and if he's listening, hello, you're going to know straight away because it's quite a specific story. He was in Canada a few years ago, and he had a he had a skiing accident.
Oh.
And he was packing up. He was packing up to leave. It is funny in a minute. He was packing up to leave to go home.
What a crack up! Oh, and he broke his leg.
That's where we're heading.
Okay.
So he's packing up to go home. Now he doesn't have snow gear on. He's just packing up to hop in the car, and he steps in some soft snow and falls over and snaps a big bone in his leg, really, really bad. And he's
Not the funny bit.
It wasn't funny.
Just waiting,
wasn't funny.
Yeah, okay.
Very painful. And he's a really big guy. He's like 6'5", like a big, really. I adore this particular person. He's a very big guy. So the medics came to get him to put him on the little stretcher. And they couldn't. So he had to get himself. This is hard. He has to get himself into their little car and then head down. Obviously, he ends up having to go to hospital, but the particular hospital near this ski thingy was a training hospital. And there's those around, where you in, and there's obviously real doctors there too, but it's a training hospital. So they obviously realise they have to do surgery, and they've got him all hooked up, ready for the surgery. And it's got me thinking what it feels like when you have anaesthetic. You and I were talking about it the other day, that little feeling that you get when it first kicks in.
There's a lot of anxiety. It depends on what the procedure is, whether it's minor or major. But if it's a minor one and you're like, oh, gosh, am I really going to have to be forced to lie down and go to sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be terrible.
Oh, and it's just... I know it feels so
And then
nice.
hours later, you're like, oh. Oh, wow, I feel so rested. You did what to me?
Yeah, that's right. Well, they got him all hooked up, ready for the surgery, and they say, now, sir, just count back from 10.
Yeah.
And he gets to minus 10, and he's like, and he's thinking because he's a really big guy, he's thinking
They haven't
maybe
got the dosage right.
They haven't got the dosage right, and he's looking around and he goes, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but should this be plugged in? He could see that his mask thing wasn't plugged in, but he's lying there going, I'm in another country. I don't want to annoy them. Anyway, so, sorry, sir. This is a training hospital. We do have, obviously, a professional here. Obviously, there's a proper anaesthetist there. Anyway, he's like, okay.
And they're going to operate on his leg.
Yes.
And they hadn't plugged the mask in.
Yes.
Cool. Yep.
Yes. So
I feel real good about that.
Panicking. So, okay, so we're all good now. Just count back from 10 again. He gets to minus 10 again, and he's thinking, well, they've just underestimated how much they need.
Yeah, because they plugged it in. I've told them to plug it in. So now it's a me thing, right?
And now he goes, look, he's lying there going, what do I do? Look, I really don't want to tell you how to do your job, but I can see over there the machine's not plugged in. Oh, my God. But he doesn't want to piss them off because they're about to...
They put him to sleep and do anything to him. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What? That's true. You've got no idea what happens when you're under.
You don't know. And oh, my God. So this is honest to God. It's a true story.
Okay, so they didn't plug the mask in. Then they hadn't plugged the machine in. All right. And surely now.
Well, eventually he had the surgery and he got a big scar and stuff and he came home. But he went in for surgery and came out with a certificate of participation at the training hospital.
They gave him a certificate? Good God.
Gina and Matty.
It is that time on a Tuesday where we talk to our favourite tech expert from EFTM.com and the Today Show. Before we talk tech, quickly, Trevor Long, how good is Oscar Piastri?
He's the greatest. He's the greatest Australian Formula One driver that hasn't won a world championship. It's as simple as that.
I saw that on your socials yesterday. How did that reaction go down? Because we have had a lot, we haven't had many, but we have had a few Australians driving in the F1. Were you a lot of people on your side with the call of he's the greatest?
Most people are like, whoa, calm down. Let him get through the year. But look, we've only had 2 world champions, Jack Brabham and Alan Jones. So it's been a long time, since 1980, and Oscar has got what it takes. So loving the Formula One season this year.
Yeah, for those people playing at home, he did win the Spanish Grand Prix in the last 48 hours. All right, let's talk tech. Gina wants to talk to you about the Apple Watch in a sec, but the top 10 most distrusted list of brands in the telco and tech world, who are they, Trev?
It's not a good look for the tech world because, at the top of the trust list is companies like Bunnings, but when it comes to distrust, Coles and Woolies are there, but so is Optus, Telstra, Twitter, and Facebook. Temu as well. So if you're shopping on Temu, you're shopping at the 7th most distrusted brand in Australia. But Optus, you could probably put down all the network outages and stuff they had go
Hacking.
on. Telstra, probably more just the kind of, people don't love the big tall poppy style, big telco. Facebook, though, I think is completely warranted. They have so much scam and spam activity on their platform. They kick people off the platform with little or no reason or recourse. But I think these lists really show that you've got to value your customer. You've got to provide customer service. And that's what Aussies want. Otherwise, you'll be on the distrust list.
I think with Facebook and the platform formerly known as Twitter as well, there's no knowing what is real and what is not anymore when it comes to what's on there. I saw this AI video that was done up in sort of the last week or so. It said, send this to your mum and dad to show them that not everything they see online is real. And I think the problem with Facebook now is that you just don't know. And I know I've got relatives that I see they're sharing stuff and I'm like, oh dear, that is just...
I visited my mum last week and she leant over and showed me her phone. I went, no, Mum, not real. Stop.
Yeah.
Get off Facebook. Basically was my message to her. Please don't share things that you see on Facebook, especially when they're not from a reputable news organisation. The fact is that, and Formula One's a good example. I love Formula One. The stuff I see on Facebook is just pure clickbait. It's not even real. People make headlines so that you'll click the link and that is good for their business. So honestly, I think we've got a real problem with Facebook and the way it kind of serves content and the way we engage with it. But it's a drug. We're using it and we're not slowing down.
Hey, Trav, can you tell us about the Apple Watch and it's going to be able to detect sleep apnea now?
That's right. So if you're, if getting ribs kicked by your partner in bed because you're snoring, perhaps you have more of a problem than just snoring. And the Apple Watch can detect sleep apnea. Now, this feature has not been available in Australia because it requires medical certification, but they have gotten that now. So the TGA in Australia has signed off on the Apple Watch as a medical device for sleep apnea detection. It now requires Apple to put out a software update, which will probably come, I would think, within a month or so. But then if you wear your Apple Watch to bed for a few weeks, it'll give you an assessment on your breathing disturbances and it will come up with a sleep apnea notification if it believes you have sleep apnea, which you can then follow up on with a doctor and hopefully get treatment for. Look, a lot of people are not willing to go to a sleep clinic and all those things. But if you have a device that is medically certified and it tells you that you may have sleep apnea, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back and hopefully gets people properly tested and treated.
Love that. That's great. Just quickly, Foxtel abandoning satellite customers. Now, I didn't even know that it still did satellite. I remember when I had Galaxy back in the late 90s, we had a satellite dish on our roof. No more satellite for Foxtel?
Well, what they're doing is they're saying if you have a problem with your satellite dish, it's your problem, not ours. They're moving away from any support. So if you've got Foxtel satellite, any cabling issues, any issues at all, it's on you now from July. So they don't want to do satellite. They prefer you got it all via the internet. So just be warned. Any issues, it's on you.
Trevor Long, all the info is at EFTM.com. We'll chat to you this time next week, buddy.
Talk to you then.
Bye.
Gina and Matty.
Remember yesterday I was telling you about my husband Rod and he went to the table tennis on the weekend.
State championships.
State championships.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we got talking about a thing called flow state. Have you heard of that?
No, I thought that was an Enya song, but no.
Well, flow state, Rod says when he's totally in the zone and he's playing high-level table tennis or when he's making music, he gets in this thing called flow state. He loses track of time, fully in the moment, and everything just clicks. And it's actually a real psychological thing called flow state. It was coined by a psychologist, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. I hope I said that right. And it happens when your skills are close.
I'll give it to you.
He's listening, so I think it's okay.
Maybe.
If he is, call in and pretend and fix how I said it. So it happens when your skills are perfectly matched to a challenge. It's not too easy, which causes boredom, and not too hard, which can cause anxiety. Instead, you're kind of riding the edge of your ability with total focus. And it happens when you're doing something challenging but rewarding and you can handle it. You know, you're so focused when everything else fades away, even time. And that's why Rod gets home late sometimes. Because sometimes
He's in his flow state.
when he's making music, he said he'll literally look up sometimes and go, oh, it's 6:30, and he comes home at 6, and he's just in this zone. I don't know if
Is it the same as playing Call of Duty? So if I can be sitting at home playing Call
I'm
of Duty
not
and then I'm
kidding.
in the war zone and then I look up and it's been 2 hours, I'm like, oh, have I been in a flow state or have I just... You reckon it's the same thing?
I looked it up. I
Okay.
said, so what it feels like is when you're in the flow, you feel laser focused, like it's effortless, as if time speeds up or disappears. You're not self-conscious and you're totally into it, and it's like your brain and body are perfectly synced. So, yeah, when I looked up other things like painting or writing or dancing, I look at dancers sometimes and think they must be in a flow state, when they're doing all those twisty things and you feel like you're almost floating. That's got to be, a really good dancer. And when you just can kind of somehow remember all those moves and you just...
I'd love to be a really good dancer.
So would
It would
I.
be just to make it look so natural and effortless.
And to feel I think I can imagine what that feels like. But so that's another example.
I think I do, but then I catch a reflection. I'm like, oh boy, so just stop, mate.
Oh my God. I remember at my 40th, one of my girlfriends who's an actual dance teacher came over and taught me and all my best friends at how to do a dance, and we videoed it. And we were it was so good. We felt like on fire, and we saw the video the next day. It was so bad. But it does say also flow state is gaming or coding. You can get it. Surfing or rock climbing or long distance running. So you probably have been in it when you've run.
Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense to me, a flow state in a long run. Yeah.
So I don't know if I've ever been in flow state.
You would be. When you're on stage. And the thing is, singing's not easy. Not everyone can sing, right? And, everyone can sing, but not everyone can sing well.
Not easy
right?
for you.
No, I struggle. Dancing, singing, pretty much everything.
No, you're a good dancer.
But you would be on stage. You're doing an hour and a half set.
Yeah, and it does go fast.
You're 30 minutes into it. You're doing your banter between the songs, and it's just effortless. Yeah. You're not thinking about it. You're just in it, and remembering lyrics, and that's a flow state.
I think you're right. I don't know if I've had that absolute joy like an elite musician or athlete might have had, but I think that would it count if a glass of rosé and online shopping and hours disappear and I feel that real sense of joy? Do you think that's
the flow state? Just keep it flowing.
Listen to Gina and Matty weekday mornings from 5:30.
Live on the Star Player.